Hey there, Flux here, and today I'll be showing you the flight system that I revamped. Now, currently we're on version 3.1. I was gonna make a video when I went to version 3, because, that was the initial version, the initial release version. But then I did the video a few times where I'm just talking about the things I want to add, and then I just added them. So now here we are. Now, the installation is very simple now. Originally, you'd have to click Open Avatar, find the avatar root chest, left hand, right hand, but now you just click Autofill, and as long as your left hand and right hand proxy isn't hidden somewhere, and your chest is called chest, or assigned as your IK chest, it'll just automatically find everything that you have on your avatar. This system here, the autofill was made by me, but the core, UI was made by Ryuvi. The original system was made by Peptron, and the glide system originally was revised by Honeybee and Icarus. But Gearbell also used this system on their Harpy, before I revised it, of course. Now, the latest version here was worked on by me and Aegis Wolf, with me doing all of the code revisions, adding the new glide system, stuff like that, and Aegis Wolf basically prettifying the code, making it a lot nicer position, and also upgrading some of the old code that uses indirect writes to use writes instead. Now, the neat thing is, just like before, once you press the autofill and have all of those values here filled in, you're actually already able to preview it. You can just flap your hands, and it just works. Now, in order to flap, you use both triggers, press them, hold down, and then let go. And that's how you flap. But to glide, you press both your grips. One of the changes that I actually did is that the glide system will now get disabled if you're using the flap system, so you can actually properly flap upwards instead of the glide system actually killing your upwards momentum when you're flapping. Now, technically speaking, you can change it so that you're always gliding unless you're flapping in the context menu that I made for it, as well as you can disable the entire system there. But I do prefer, and I do recommend the, pressing the grips instead to glide. The reason why is because if you do go in and change it to be flight menu grab released instead of grab held, this does mean that the moment you're not on the ground for 0.1 seconds, the glide system triggers. Now, this can be, positive, because it means that if you are looking at a cliff like this, you can just run at it with your hands outstretched and just glide. However, in most cases, this is also just means that if you do walk off a cliff, you're just hovering now, because you're gliding now with your hands upwards, so you're basically air stalling. But yeah, one of the main additions here is that the flap system here now no longer needs you to be a skill of 1. It'll now actually adjust the force based off of how big you are. So if you're very tiny, you can still use the system. If you're huge, you can still use the system. It doesn't matter. Glide system, same thing here. It will work exactly the same regardless if you're very tiny or very big. Additionally, even the way that the glide system now works is it actually keeps your velocity. So if you're getting velocity while large and then size down to a smaller size, you still have that previous velocity for a smaller amount of mass, so you'll be going a lot faster suddenly, which can be pretty useful. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The flight system is really fun to use, so I will put down in the description the folder that you can get it from, and yeah, just a little bit of flying. Now, one of the main things that I was thinking of when I made this is essentially how it used to feel to fly with this system. And one of the issues that have existed with this system is that there's pretty much a kind of boring meta when it comes to speed flying, which is that the original glide system used to have a locked max speed, which now I still have a clamped max speed, which is 300, so good luck getting to that point. But while there's still currently a clamped speed, it's not just a speed of 3. This means that now instead of the fastest way to fly and the best way to fly being just disabling the glide system and just flapping your wings as violently as you can to just, you know, fling yourself throughout a map, the best way to fly is now actually proper gliding to conserve momentum as you're going down and then glide, you know, straight. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to say about this system. It works pretty much the same way as the old system, just I rewrote a bunch of the code to be more reliable and just work nicer. And also be more responsive, so you can do a lot more cool little movements with your flight. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, if you have any suggestions for future editions, leave them down below. Bye!